Hey, everybody at home. Oh man, they got me in profile so you can see my big belly. As I like to say, body by Bojangles. So for those of you at home, do not hesitate to join in the conversation. We can hear you fine here. All I ask is that if you don't have something to contribute, just keep your mics muted so that we don't get all the background noise, the dogs barking and kids screaming and that sort of thing. I don't know if that's your household, but that's certainly my household 90% of the time. The purposes of today is just an opportunity for us to come together and mastermind and share some ideas on how we generate business within our sphere, how we work our sphere of influence, how some of the things that Raina uses, which we thought was helping today in this discussion, in working her sphere of influence in her business. And then I would love to show you all some practical things within Command that we can do as well. But I'm more interested in the conversation that we have. So do not hesitate, though, to ask your marketing or tech trainer to show you how to do something that is exactly what I'm doing. So I want to make sure Mark was here and then he disappeared, and I guess he'll come back. Oh. So first and foremost, let's kind of talk a little bit about let's just say who we are and how long we've been with Keller Williams and how we primarily generate our business. I'll get us started off. So we ripped the Band-Aid off. There's nothing to be nervous about. My name is Robert Jones. I am a full-time broker, and I've been with this office for 8 years. I've been on 2 teams in my career, but I am a sole proprietor right now. I'm very happy to do so. I am also your Market Center Tech Trainer and an ALC member. So I am fully vested here at Keller Williams, and I've only ever been with Keller Williams. So obviously I'm a bit prejudiced for the company because it has empowered my life in a great, great way. That being said, Keller Williams does not give me business. What gives me business are the people who've trusted me with their business. I work 100% by referral. And even the campaign ads that I run through Facebook and Command, most of those I refer out to other agents because I'm more interested in working my sphere and using it as an opportunity to promote my properties. And by the way, I do get referrals from people that I send those out to. So if I have agents I send those leads to, they'll pay me 25% referral. I'm buying back my time is effectively what I'm doing there. So I'm 100% referral, which means it took a while to build that up. But once I did build it up, I have a database that passively creates all the business I need in a year. Anything I can't handle, I can refer out. So that's a little bit about me and my business. Randy, how about you do it?
That's awesome. You do all that just on referrals and no cold calling or.
Well, and it's the kind of thing that every agent should have client retention as an aspect of your business. Now, whether it's 100% or not, it needs to be a percentage of your business. And it's amazing. There are some very high producing agents in this office who just in the last year started adding sphere of influence techniques to their daily practice. And it has paid dividends. We can talk about that later.
Okay. So I am Raina Michelle. I have been with Keller Williams for 4 years. This is also I've only ever been with KW. My friend up in Rochester, New York, where I'm from, works for KW, and so I just knew from his feedback that that's exactly where I was going, and I've never looked back. I'm happy to be here, and so a lot of my, some of my leads do come from referrals from friends and people that I've met, but all of those people, I moved here 4 years ago. I had to meet everyone, so I did a lot of networking. And that's how I've been able to meet people that either send me referrals or to do business with, or that have just formed friendships that have sent me business.
That's a really good point. So if you're new to an area, and again, so like I said, with myself working by referral, I moved to Raleigh and I didn't know anybody here. I knew my grandfather here, but I didn't know anybody else here. And so what you did was you hit the networking events, and that's how you grew your sphere, your trusted network. And so what are some of maybe, well, we may get into it later, but I'm interested to hear some of the dialogues you've used to get people to offer you the opportunity for business, because I think that's important as well. So Mark, since you just stepped in, basically everybody's just going to say their name, how long they've been with the company, and how you primarily generate your business. Since today we're talking about mastering your database, we need to know primarily how you generate your business to begin with. So if we continue on in this rotation, would you go next?
My name is Ashley.
Okay.
I've been with Keller Williams for a week today.
All right.
I'm brand new.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just got my license the end of December, and I was with another company for a month, decided that's not what I I heard only fantastic things about Keller Williams, so here I am, and I know nothing. So
Welcome.
I know.
Cool. So you're in the sponge phase. You're just soaking it all up, which is great. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Mark.
I'm Mark Corbin. I've been with the company for about a year now, just about. I've been actively practicing real estate for about 6 months. Once COVID actually calmed down, I was able to actually dive deep into it. The way I've done business so far, I think, Raina, we've talked a couple times. I try to do networking events, meet people, get out there, just let my name be known. And I work with a foundation called Homes for Heroes. And what we do is work with people who serve their community and the nation, and that helps me get out and campaign their good name, and allow me to meet people who meet the criteria. And through there, I'm able to meet people that they know, and hopefully I'm, good enough to be referred by them for business. And so I try to be just a good character and get to know people.
Good. And I think what you're hitting on there is one of the things that's the keys to all of this, right? Is building a relationship that extends beyond the transaction. That is the key. Even if you have been purely transactional with somebody, keeping in touch with them in such a way that they continue to see you as their real estate professional, their go-to resource for anything that they need with a home, and not being afraid to ask them 4 times a year for business, right? It feeds into what we call the reticular activators. And the reticular activators are your passive observations. So when you call and ask someone the question, Raina, who do you know who's looking to buy or sell? Well, you may not know someone immediately who's looking to buy or sell. But your brain subconsciously is thinking, I should probably keep an eye out for somebody looking to buy or sell real estate. You're not even thinking about it as a subconscious sort of thing. So that's good. Now, Mark, I noticed with your business that things really started to pick up in what it feels like the last couple of months. Is there any one thing that you could point to that you can say what made the difference? Do you think it's just kind of a traction point?
I think it was
Hey, how are you? They can't hear me, I don't think.
We can hear you. Mute yourself if you don't have something to say.
Sorry.
just a large thing, and I think a large, I would just say, just a constant that I've done is exactly what you all are touching on today is just keeping in touch with the people that I have met. Just like a lot of people that are probably, in this training, I'm new to Raleigh as well.
Sure.
So what I had to do was not only get to know people around me, but try to build my name and my trustworthiness with them, and to build trustworthy and trust with other people, and for them to want to be your go-to takes a little bit.
Yeah.
So so you got to keep in touch, and not only just, I think this probably is going out of scope, but not only just asking them for business, but ask them how they're doing, and know that you have their back. And then if they feel like you have their back, they're going to have your back, and they're going to refer you for their business and friends. And I've actually had clients, just text me out of nowhere and say, "Hey man, how you doing? Just want to see how," because I've been looking for a home too. So I've helped them find a house. And what they do is they reach out to me and say, "Hey man, you were just on our mind. What are you doing this weekend? You want to get together?
Yeah.
How are you guys doing in your home search? I'll look forward to hearing back from you." And that's a really good thing. I actually think that's a good thing when people reach out to me, ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I've gained their confidence.
You know what that's called? It's called making a friend.
Yeah.
And the world needs a whole lot more of those. I get people that look at me funny sometimes when I say a conversation I have, a script that I basically created, but it's a conversation that I genuinely mean. And here's the thing, whatever you're doing with your clients, if you're not genuine in it, if they really don't think you care, they'll know. The number one thing that we're good at doing is sussing out phonies. Have anybody here ever bought a car? Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody's turning the screws on you quick, and it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good when somebody's manipulating you. One of the things I like to tell people up front is, here's the prejudice. I want y'all to know what I'm trying to do in this transaction. I want to be your buddy. I want at the end of this, I want you to enjoy coming over to my house, cooking food and grilling out food. And I also selfishly want you to be so tickled and satisfied that you send me every single person you know who needs real estate help, that you are going to send them to me. That's my thing. So I want you to know my angle. That's my angle. I want you to be that satisfied that everyone you know has to come work with you. They have no choice, right? And it's to what you're saying there. If you truly build a relationship with someone, if you actually become someone's friend through the process, that's going to be a referral partner for life. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that we can't help purely transactional clients, because there are plenty of purely transactional clients. There's transactional people. But it just means that we give them the same level of care that we would others. They may not clue into that. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Carol.
Carol Woodard, I've been with Keller 5 years, the only company I've been with. I'm blessed. And I haven't had much business lately. Actually, all but 2 of my clients are good friends. And I talk with them all the time, but I have not asked for business. Something in me just pulled me away from it. And I'm with Jessica now trying to get my butt kicked so I can get open and ask for the business.
Sure. Well, that really
So
is.
far, most of my people have been from open houses.
Gotcha. Now, no problems asking them for business, because they've already shown that they want business by coming to an open house. But asking people that you know to trust you, and I think that can be tough. You know, now I know a little bit about your career. Do you want to tell everybody what you did before real estate?
I was in engineering, and actually I was director of construction at NC State.
Right.
For several years, built up the main campus there, and then I went to UNCTD. Prior to that, I was with GPE for many years. I was director of construction out in California. So.
And none of that is sales.
No.
Sales is so different. Because
it isn't, but I wanted to get into it because I love people. When
exactly.
I was tired, I wanted to meet people.
Well, and ostensibly, those of us who aren't sociopaths, because there are some of those sharp-eyed people in this business, don't get me wrong, they definitely exist. And when you come across them, you know, load for bear is all I have to say. But ostensibly, you do get in this business because you want to help people. Now, thank God we can get paid so well to help people that it's almost worth all the stress, anxiety, ulcers, and things that come along with this business as well. I was in a 24-hour period this week with 3 contracts that are all supposed to close today. All 3 of them had deal-threatening things pop up that were outside of my control. And it's one of those things that doesn't matter how many T's cross or I's you got. Encroachments, delays, builders not building on time, you know, soil permits not coming back on a piece of land. I mean, these things just happen. It can be an insanely stressful business. And sometimes we can forget that what we're providing is to remove that pain point and that stress from our clients through the process. But in all of it, we should be getting into business to do good and to help people. And what hurts most of us, including the empaths in the world, are the people who are distrustful of us, right? You're trying to help, you want to help, and everything we do, especially when we're asking for business, is to avoid the uncomfortable rub point of them saying, no, I don't have any business, stop calling. You know, the biggest thing we're afraid of is for somebody to say, you know, why are you always bugging about this, right? Because we don't want to be that crappy salesperson who just hounds people all the time. There's plenty of those people out there. We don't need to do that. So I want to clue into some of our people online. Oh, we have more people joining in. People aren't on time. All right, friends at home. Anybody want to speak up? Share your name, how long you've been with the business, and how you generate some of your business.
I will.
All right, Joanne, talk it to us.
Okay, well, I joined KW last year, and I was with a different firm locally. Haven't been here that long. I started selling real estate in 2006, right before the crash. Great time. My timing is always good. And that was in Connecticut when things got really, really, really bad, and I was the short sale queen. And never did a foreclosure, but I was following, I don't know if you know Kate Ross, I used to follow her spinning plates, which is like you do one thing to generate business and another thing, and you have all these plates in the air, like open houses, referrals, farming, mailing. So I do that. I've been doing that. So that's how I get my business. I have one client that has sent me a ton of referrals. It made me a lot of money, but I'm trying to work more on getting agent referrals as well. as client referrals, and my database is really lousy, so I've got to I'm working on fixing that, so.
Well, good.
and
That's one of the things.
networking events.
That's one of the things I want us to talk about today. In fact, I want to make sure, put a pin in that, Joanne. We're going to talk about adequately working with your database and grading your database, but I want to reach out if there's anybody else here. Sorry, let me look at the camera.
It's okay.
If there's anybody else here in the Zoom that wants to share your name, how long you've been with Keller Williams, and your experience, I'd love to hear from at least one more person, and then we can move on to the next section. We can start doing some brainstorming on how to actually work with our database to start doing some business. Anybody else? I'll take
Good
that.
afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Audrey Dawson. I've been with Keller Williams 1 month.
All
So I
right.
am a definitely a newbie.
Good.
Just trying to learn all that I can, attend everything I can. I came in with one session with you in person at the beginning of February. Just trying to learn all I can. I'm a dual career agent, so I'm trying to manage that as well. So I'm just here to learn whatever I can.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for sharing. All right, well, let's get into the meat of it. So, Raina, I want to throw it over to you. What are some of the things that you do to engage with your database or to sort your database? Or is it something that maybe there needs some more discipline? That's something that you would say is a weakness that needs to be strengthened.
Yes, my database definitely needs TLC.
Okay.
I did have Scott Leroy dump all my phone contacts into Command.
Okay.
And of course, my phone contacts I've had the same phone number for like 15 years.
So it's like thousands.
So it's, so it's like, I think it was probably 1,800 that got dumped in. And of course, some of these are numbers that don't even work anymore. I haven't talked to these people in 10 years, we were friends back, 10, 15 years ago when I was a kid or whatever.
Sounds like you need to do some slash and burn.
Yeah, so I do need to go through, but I really I want to figure out the best way to tag everyone as I'm going through it.
Of course.
That way I only have to, I can just go through it once and do everything I need to with that contact as I'm going through, but add whatever tags I need to, and just figure out how to best categorize, people into those different groups so that when I want to, send something through email or something like that, I can easily just go right to that group.
That's great. So that is a perfect lead in to how I sort my database. Now, you do not have to do it exactly as I do it, but I will explain to you how I do it, and then you can choose how you want to emulate it or not. I use the Buffini method in grading my database, and that is an A+ all the way down to D, right? So we have A+, A, B, C, and D. I can put that on this board, I think. I wish we had a real dry erase, but let's see here.
Did you get that from the referral the network? You ever read that book? They kind of go over that too.
Well, it all comes from Brian Buffini's method,
Yeah.
which is very heavily based on working referral. I don't have anything to, let's see here. Is this sanitizer or is this actually clean? No, don't worry. All right, I'll just explain the process. The idea behind it is, for me, since everything I do is by referral, I'm grading people on their ability to refer me business or have referred me business. For instance, somebody who's in my database who is an A+ has sent me 2 closed deals in a year. Not sent me 2 referrals, sent me 2 closed deals in a year. It is very hard to be an A+ client. But the reason why I want them to be champion is because they are a raving fan for my business. If you're sending me enough business and I'm closing 2 deals in a year, this is somebody I need to take out to dinner. This is somebody I need to send flowers to their grandma if she's sick. This is somebody who is putting bread on my table and keeping me in business, right? So that's what an A+ in my database is. An A in my database is somebody who sends me one closed deal per year, right? So it's not that hard to be an A in my database. You're sending me a couple of referrals, I'm closing at least one of them. That's a big benefit. A B is somebody who's sending me referrals, but they're people that aren't closing business, right? You're sending me referrals, you're thinking of me, but we haven't closed anything yet. So again, not that hard to get from a B to an A. And a C is somebody who's new to my database, hopefully just new to my database. They have agreed to send me referrals, but have never actually sent me any business, right? I've never closed a deal. They're working towards it, but they'll say that they'll send me business, but they don't. And D is very easy to remember. If you are a D in my database, D stands for delete. There's no joke about it. You don't stay a day long. I don't have these in my database. The one exception to that is that any agent or vendor that I know that isn't sending me business is a D in my database because we don't want to market to our fellow agents. Mark, if you're in my database, it's because I'm going to send you a Christmas card. It's not because I'm calling you to send you business, right? We're both agents in the same market center in the same market. It doesn't mean that we couldn't be referral partners or could help find business elsewhere, right? If you had somebody who wanted to buy a piece of property in Granville County and you just didn't want to bother with it, I live there, you could send me the business. You don't have to. But anyways, agents are a good ranking for D. Does everybody here know how to use tags in Command? If you don't, I can pull it up and show it. I know you're very new.
I was playing around with it, so I've used a couple tags. I'd like to learn how to make a custom tag because I see those can be
Cool. Custom tags are very, very easy. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So everybody at home, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on a second. I got a message in the chat. Let's see. The link in the daily guide just wasn't correct. Oh, okay. Well, you're here now. All right, we're going to hop into Command. I'm going to share my screen. Nope, don't share that. Share this. Yes. Okay, sign in. Oh, look, I can see everybody's faces. And you can see just the corner of my shoulder. All right, we are in Command now, or at least you should be able to see Command. Tell me if you cannot. Okay, we are going to go into Contacts. And I'm going to go edit a pre-existing contact, and I'll show you how to make a custom tag. So let's just pick whoever is at the top here. Yeah, Barney Rubble. Okay. Up here where we have the edit button, I'm going to click that. And notice he's already got a bunch of tags. Why are you making me sign in again? This screwy computer. All right, edit. It would be just my luck that when I'm trying to teach a class that Command would be down for maintenance. That has happened before. So notice for tags, I've already got him. He's a C client because he hasn't sent me any business. I said that he's an NCSU grad. I made a hard rock tag. I don't know, he likes rock and roll music. That's a tag I'd use for Jim Mahaffey, right? Because he likes hard rock. Put in a dog lover tag. He's a conspiracy theorist, so I put in a ufologist, UFOologist there, and also used a buyer tag. The way you make a custom tag is you literally start typing whatever you want that tag to be. So give me an example of something that you or your client might be into. An activity or something.
no idea. Well, I got released on another agent, another office, so the tag I want to make is if I close up, I'll be paying him a referral fee. So I wanted to make a tag for that.
So referral tag, agent.
Agent referral.
Okay, agent referral. So I type in the word and it says, hey, this tag doesn't exist. See how it pops up the dialog, create custom tag? Yep. So you click that, and then it gives you a couple more options. You can choose the color for that tag. So let's say we'll make that red, so it's really eye-catching. And then I click add, and there you go. Now I have an agent referral tag. And once you've created a tag, you can reuse that tag over and over and over again. Now, I want y'all to tell me, what are some of the potential benefits of creating very specific tags for activities or interests for your clients? Sorry, what?
I have a terrible memory.
Well, that for sure, it's a quick reference point, but what if you are using those tags for multiple people in your database? For instance, if I used a rock climbing tag, do you like the rock climb? I do. Okay, so I know Raina likes the rock climb. And let's say I know Carol doesn't like the rock climb. I don't know, maybe you do. But Mark does like the rock climb. And I have you both tagged as rock climbing enthusiasts in my database. Well, let me save this contact. We're going to go back to our contacts, and I'll show you a really cool thing that you can do. Okay. If you are in your database and you click on any of these tags, for instance, the dog lover tag, it will sort my database by just the people who have that tag. Now, why might that be beneficial? Let's say I'm planning a get-together. Oops, bumped the camera. A get-together with my client that's specifically themed around an activity. I know who to invite. If I tag people in my database, I'll give you an example. Here's my prejudice. In my database, I love to play disc golf, right? Frisbee golf. And anybody in my database who plays, I tag with it. And so when I know I'm going to be going to Cedar Hills on the weekend, I send a text message to everyone in my database that plays disc golf. And it's a way for us to get together and play. Now, do I have to talk to them about business? No, I don't have to talk to them about business. But what does everyone in that group ask me at some point in a 2.5-hour round of us playing disc golf?
How's business?
How's business, right? They know that I didn't invite them to talk about business. But guess what we wind up talking about? Business. And that gets their reticular activators going, and it gets them thinking about sending me business. So my recommendation, and I know this is a discussion, and yet what I'm doing is I'm lecturing, so I'm going to sit down and shut up here in a minute, but is tag the ever-living hell out of your database with anything that might be pertinent to that person. There's no such thing as too many tags, right? There's no such thing. And it helps you to personalize things for your clients. For instance, the dog lover. If I'm taking my dog to a dog park on the weekend and I want to see if people want to come join me, it's a quick little message. It's an email, it's a text message. Hey, you know, my dog Ginger and I, we're heading out to the park on Saturday. You want to join us at the dog park? Especially now with COVID. The more that we can do with people outdoors, it's the only way that we can really see people safely, right? What are some other ways that we could potentially meet up with our clients passively, right? What are some other things that we could be doing?
Yeah, the outdoor events are a good idea, you know, whether it's going for getting a group together to go for a nature walk or any event that's outside. Well, there's other things that you can do. You can be volunteering your service and advertising that to your clients, right? So there could be a charity or something that you're into, Raina. Yeah, you can host a blood drive.
Yeah. How many times do you host a blood drive in a year?
3.
3 times. 3 times. That's almost quarterly. And I'm sure you're telling people in your database to make donations or come and donate blood.
Absolutely. It gives me a reason to reach out to my database. I talk to them about the blood drive. I talk to them about donating to the Veterans Organization. And we also set it up so it's a networking event, so people can come see each other too. It's an outdoor event. So that gives me an opportunity, you know, I'm reaching out to everyone ahead of time to tell them about the blood drive, ask them to make an appointment. It's all over social media. So I'm reaching out to people. I'm in front of people's faces without it being, hey, you want to buy a house?
Right. And what this feeds into is, so there are these things I like to do called client appreciation events or pop-by activities. For my dog lovers, I may go out in a day and have little baggies of dog treats. And I just pop by the people that I know, pop by their home and pop by their work. If they're not there, I just leave it there for them. I send them a text message and say, hey, I dropped this off for you, just thinking of you, and insert their dog's name, because if you're a good person, you know their dog's name. Or if you don't, you can just say, I wanted to leave something for your sweet little pupper. I know you care about them so much. I care about them too. Here's just a little something, right? And it can even have a little cheesy card, you know, but it doesn't have to. It's not the value of the item that you're getting. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it's the physical reminder that you're thinking of them, that you're actively engaged. To that extent as well, you're doing what we call a client appreciation event, but your client appreciation event is tied directly to charity, right? It's a charitable thing, and people love nothing more than to do something where they get something back, but they're also helping someone else. It's like why we do canned food drives when we're trying to get people to come and eat free food too, right? Bring some cans of food. It makes people feel like they're doing something good. So with that being said, can y'all think of any potential activities that you could do as kind of a little meet and greet get together for you and your database?
I need to grow my database. I just moved here in July.
Oh, sure.
So I'm
But
brand new. The only people I know are my parents and how to get to like Starbucks and
right.
or taco, and that.
But what's something you're into?
I have a dog.
You have a dog,
I
right?
could walk him at the park. So maybe I could
Do a dog get
do
together,
a
right?
dog thing. Yeah.
Of course. You could do an annual barbecue with your database. I've taken my database out to during Bulls games. We've rented movie theaters before and had client appreciation events there. There's all sorts of things that you can do. Go bowling, take people bowling. You could also do, and this is what the high performing agents that work their sphere of influence is, you take your most productive people, not your entire database, but just like A's and A pluses, and you take them out to a dinner or you take them out to a wine tasting. You do something that they would enjoy that's a little more special than just grilling hot dogs, you know? And it's just something that you can do to make people feel like they're valued and appreciated for supporting you.
I like when you have people with kids having a Santa Claus to get their picture taken.
Sam, that's a great one. Flowers on Mother's Day, right? Pies. How many agents give out pies
Yeah.
multiple times a year? And people will line up for a free pie. And you're spending what, $5 a pie from Costco for this enormous pie?
And delicious.
Yes.
All right. Well, I know we've had a lot of discussion here, and I want to make the best use of your time. And I know that our friend Mark here wants to know probably how to do some email campaigns and how to do some effective ad campaigns as well. So I want y'all to also get some instruction. So if you would like, I can go ahead and show some of that stuff while we're talking and get into it. Great. So let's say you have your database and you actually want to send out an email to the people in your database who, oh, I don't know, have a dog, and you want to let them know about your little get together. All right. Hey, everybody at home. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Share. Now, the best way to send out an email campaign is to go to the campaigns applet. So, and I always like to remind people when you're in my classes, if you click the little KW in the top left-hand corner, it expands out this window so that you can more easily read all these different applets. But if we choose the campaigns applet, and since I am up here and in desperate need of oxygen, I'm going to remove my mask for a moment. I hope you all do not mind, but I'm facing away from y'all. Okay. And once you're in campaigns, in the top right-hand corner, there's a big friendly blue button. You'll notice in all the programs we use, there's these beautiful friendly blue buttons up in the top right-hand corner that basically help you do whatever you need to do. It's always the new thing. All right, so up in the top right corner, we're going to click Create a New Campaign. And in this case, we are going to do an email campaign. So you're going to click Email. Now, it's going to give you a couple different options here. You can do Event Awareness. Other, attract buyers, attract talent, brand awareness. For instance, I said today we're going to be doing a dog event, so I'm going to say event awareness. And I'm going to say dog park get together, right? And look, it gives you options here about which email service you can utilize. Now, can you use MailChimp? Yeah, you can use MailChimp, but it's ultimately going to cost you money to use MailChimp. If you utilize the services of Command Email, which is already included in Command, you have the ability to send 5,000 emails a month for free, So I would highly encourage you to utilize Command Email versus MailChimp. I know some people are more comfortable with MailChimp. I would encourage you to stick with Command because you're already, you pay your dues here at the office and your office fees. You might as well use the things that you're paying for. Okay. Once you have confirmed that you're using Command Email, we'll click Set Up Campaign. And now, it gives us the opportunity to make our little email. So you can choose your account. You want to verify that it's actually sending from the correct email address. And here we can choose who we want to send our email to. If you have already made an email list, you could choose from it in this dropdown. But notice I don't have a recipient list. I'm instead going to choose Create a List. And in this list, you can click on your tags. See here? Let's go down to my dog lover tag. And it's going to show me everybody in my database. That's a dog lover. Look at that. I'm going to select all. And down here, oh, I'm going to have to expand my screen now because this computer screen is not big enough. Okay. Oh, I need to give my list a name. Here we go. Dog lover list. Okay. And at the bottom now I can confirm. Bingo, bango. I now have a dog lover list that I can reference every time. Now, could I do this for my A's and A pluses? You bet your butt I could. Could I do it for all my A's through C's, right? If I'm sending something to everyone in my database, I absolutely could pick all those people. The key to this, though, is that you want to make sure that you have the correct email for all these people, because if you don't, they won't receive it. If you don't have an email, you won't be able to send it. And then down here, it's just like writing an email. You put in the subject, dog, park, get together, and actually, spell it adequately. Okay. And then content, this is where you will utilize designs in Command to design your email. It will actually make an email flyer for you that you'll be sending out. So when you say select design content for your email, we can go to KWRI templates, or if you'd already made a template, you would just be able to pull it in. But this gives us the option to design our email. Now, I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this class. You all can do this, and I encourage you to go play with designs and get it working that way. All right. but I'm gonna go back to the creator. Once you've put in your design, then it is literally as simple of a matter as clicking schedule to choose when it sends out, or send and it sends out immediately. That's it. That's it. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. And if you ever wonder, like, I'm having trouble with designs, I'm having trouble with this email, I have some very handy video links that I'd be very happy to post to the Facebook page later today. I sent Raina one just the other day. Marty's video was what? Fantastic?
Yeah, it was great.
Easy.
And it was like, what, 4 minutes?
If that, yeah. And I want to encourage all of you to make use of Marty Miller on YouTube. He is an agent out of Texas, and he's fantastic. And he has the 66-day command challenge. His videos are fantastic. I also think that my weekly tech tip videos
Those are good too.
are pretty fantastic too. And that is a database that's growing. If you don't know where to find those, because I post them every Tuesday on our Facebook page. I also send out an email every Monday for those of you good people who actually read your emails. Those tech tip videos are a good place to start as well.
Where they posted.
On KW Raleigh YouTube page. I can show you where that is now. But if you've ever watched one of my tech tip videos, that's the channel. So you just click KW Raleigh and there's where all my videos are located. Mark,
Yes, sir.
was that helpful?
Yes, sir.
Does that add value to your business? Hell yeah, good. That's what I want to be in the business of doing, is adding value to business to help with your business. So, are there any other specific questions about things you'd like for me to show you in Command before we return to our discussion?
I'll just say one thing real quick too, that
Please.
as far as trying to find the videos and everything, if there's, if there's a specific one you can't find, in Robert's page or on the KW page, you can literally just type it into Google, like KW Command, whatever you're
looking
trying
for.
to do.
Yeah, that's a
And
fair
it will
point.
bring up the YouTube videos that other agents have made. And they're usually very short, and it just shows you right on the screen how to do it. And then you can move
Right.
on with.
Here's an example.
your
KW
project.
Command campaigns. I'll even type video to see if this helps. There you go. Look, hey, look at that. Creating a Facebook ad campaign by Marty Miller, our friend, right there. He posted that a little over a year ago. And he's also done a couple of them, different campaigns. Perfect. I mean, it really is just that easy. So I'll go back to home here, and we'll stop sharing my screen so everybody at home can see us here. All right. Any questions at home about how to send out an email campaign, guys and gals? Cool. Well, I like that. It was either concise or that I went too fast and nobody wants to admit that they didn't understand, which is also okay too.
Yeah, I think the main thing to take away from that is putting it, time blocking, putting it on your schedule, the time to actually go through the database and set it up. Make sure it has the email, make sure it's tagged the way you want it to.
Now, I'd like to think I'm pretty good, but I also know that I'm not that good. And so one of the things that we should all be doing for our database is engaging with our clients when it's their birthday, or it's the anniversary of when they bought their home, or one of their children's birthdays. And Command has thought of this as well. And I'm sure those of you who've been here for a while already know what a smart plan is. But I know how many people are actually using smart plans. That is a statistic that I get to see on the Market Center side. Now, I don't get to see which smart plans people are using, but I can see what our adoption rate of smart plans are. Now, in fairness, we are higher than most market centers. We have adopted smart plans better than most market centers in the region. However, we still are hovering somewhere in the 60 percentile range of agents who are actually utilizing smart plans. And to me, that is too low for what they do, for as easy as they are to implement. Mark, are you utilizing any smart plans in your business?
I'm one of the 44% that has not used one.
That's okay. Well, and it's a good thing you're in real estate and not a mathematician, because it'd be about 34%.
34.
But I bet you can figure out what 2.4 is of anything is really quick.
Yeah.
I always joke with people that if it's down to 2.4 to 3.1%, anybody in this room can figure that one out almost instantly. All right, so what is it? 1% of $250,000, $2,500 times 3.1. And I'm not going to force you to incorporate this into your business, but I will heavily encourage y'all to consider just a couple of smart plans, if you will. So I know I said I'd sit down, but I can't help myself. I'm going to hop back on Command real quick.
I can't wait to set up my smart plans. I will get some of my time back.
And that's the idea. So a smart plan is an AI, artificial intelligence assistant, that is designed to kick you in the butt to get you to do something, right? Because, and it's not that you're of inactivity, but it's designed to generate a list of to-dos every single day for you to engage with your database. And even more importantly, if you're like, well, Robert, I don't want to use any of the prefab ones. I just want a smart plan that does something simple, like reminds me to send someone an email or reminds me to send them a card 2 weeks after I've talked to them on the phone. You can design your own smart plans from the ground up to do just that. They're very, very handy. And I'll show you, I'm seeing some quizzical looks. So I will show you how to do that. First of all, let me show you a couple of smart plans. So we're going to go to our smart plans applet, and I keep kicking the camera because I'm a klutz. Right? And notice for this demo account, I already have a My Birthday smart plan. I already have a My Quarterly call plan. And the people that are assigned to those, anybody who's on the quarterly call plan, the system will tell me. It generates a task. You know, see here on your main page where it has tasks, or right here on your task list, it will generate a task that says, hey, idiot, call this person. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll call this person. Once I've done that, I check the box and it says, did they actually answer your phone? And it's like, yeah, they answered their phone. We had a conversation. I can even leave notes about what we talked about. But once I've checked that, then this system registers that I've called them, we've talked, and it waits 90 days and tells me to call them again. It's very simple. A quarterly call plan. And what it means is I'm calling these people 4 times a year, just what it says, quarterly call plan. At the very least, it's reminding you to engage with people in your database. And even if you're a purely transactional agent, it never hurts to just call a client again. You don't even have to ask for business. If Carol, if I helped you buy a house 3 months ago, and I just wanted to call, not asking for business, but wouldn't it be a good idea for maybe me to call to say, how are things at the house?
Absolutely.
Everything working out? Pipes not burst? Do you actually get the HVAC service like I told you to do? You know, like I begged you to do, like I begged you to inspect before we purchased the property in some cases, please. If you won't sign this waiver saying that I told you you should so you don't sue me later. It's a great opportunity to follow up with people. Same for the birthdays. Ask people what their birthday is. Ask at the consultation. And if they say, well, why do you want to know what my birthday is?
So I can send you a card.
Yeah, so I can send you something on your birthday. And if people don't want that, then they might be purely transactional. Everybody likes a gift. You know what's cheap? $5 Starbucks gift cards. You know what most people drink? Anything from Starbucks, right? There may be people who are morally opposed to Starbucks or I'm more of a whatever coffee company. That's fine. There's always going to be losers out there who aren't happy to receive free gifts. And hopefully they can re-gift that to someone else. But it doesn't matter what happens with it once you've given it to them. You know, or you can just send them cold hard cash. You know, everybody loves, you know, $1 in pennies arriving. I did do that one year. We had a white elephant Christmas gift exchange, and we had a $20 limit, and I went and got $20 in pennies. And by the way, $20 in pennies is dense.
That's very heavy.
It's like, it feels like a bomb, right? It's just a brick. So of course I had to wrap it in such a way that nobody knew what it was. So I put it in an enormous box, but put the box in the box. And so there's just like this giant heavy thing in this giant box anyway. But who could complain about cash, you know? All right, back on topic. So
Some of these in the Starbucks cards too.
So
Everybody.
I would say that I go a little above and beyond if I'm actually sending somebody a gift, but at the very least, you should be writing a happy birthday to somebody. And cards are cheap. And the thing is, people don't read emails. They don't engage with them. The open rate of an email is less than 20%. It's actually usually less than 15 or 10%.
So do you send it to everybody in your database?
I send birthday cards to everyone in my database. I get up every morning and I usually write at least 5. Some days there's more, right? Some days there's more. There's more. Some people I might include a business card with, but most people know who I am and recognize it, and recognize the Zodiac Keller cursive writing that I have on my notes. Eventually they learn how to read them. But I also think it's important to write in cursive because I think it's more personal than either scary script or printed. Heaven forbid we print something and send it to somebody. And it's really simple things like this. A handwritten note sounds so corny, goes a long way with somebody. I have people that I did deals with 8 years ago that still have one of my notes pinned to their fridge. Still pinned to the fridge. And it could have been something so innocuous, you know, like my buddy Randy, who is my son's godfather, right? He has a note that I sent him 7 years ago, like, you know, Randy, you're a true gentleman. Thanks for the opportunity to be your friend, to play on the softball team. Or it's something like that, you know, it was just a quick little simple, like, you're a great guy. I really appreciate you. Thank you for thinking of me. You know, all the best, Robert. It's on his freaking fridge still, right? And you never know what just a few kind words will do. I will have his business until the day he dies. He sends me everybody. He sends me everybody. There's no, like, I could not pay someone to do a better job of generating business for me than he does, because he cares, because he sees it as, he knows that sending me that business keeps bread on my table, because he cares about me, because he knows that I've taken care of him. And that's really powerful stuff. Now, not everybody in your database is going to do that, but if you just had 5 people in your database who sent you 2 closed deals a year, that's 10 transactions. You're already doing more than 60% of the agents out there. I mean, look at the NAR numbers. It is astounding how low most people, how few transactions most agents do in a year. I think the average at NAR is like 2.
I think it is.
It's like 2 transactions a year. And those of us who are like, you know, if you're doing 10, you feel like you're clipping along versus somebody who's doing 2. Never mind the people like Daniel Barad who are doing like 57 transactions a year. And you're like, you know, it's like, Jesus, man, save some for the rest of us. And I want y'all to understand too, we don't all need to be 57 transactions in a year agents. I'm kind of curious, I just want to ask, and I know we're getting into the weeds a little bit here, but like, what are your goals? How many transactions do you need to close this year to meet your real estate goals? Do you even know what those are?
24.
24, right? At an average price point of what?
3.
At an average price point of 3. So that's a fairly sizable amount of income. So you're expecting to retain what, $180,000, $200,000? That's a big goal.
I need to get moving.
So that's bigger than mine, right? My transactions per year goal is somewhere around 16 to 17, and I'm very happy with that. But my average price point is like 350. So I don't have to do as much to meet the income goals that I want. And my income goals are what I would consider more modest, right? I'm very satisfied with low 6 figures versus needing, you know, 200, 250, 300,000. There's nothing wrong with generating that type of income, but it's quality of life trade-off, right? I know that I can do 17 transactions averaging around $350,000 and have all the money in the world that I need to do what I want and to pay off what I need and those kinds of things.
And to do more transactions, it takes up more of your time, which is less time you have with your
with my family, right? So, and that's my thing. So I have 2 boys under 3 and a wife who I love and adore. We used to work in the business together. And so the time that I spend away from them, I see as that's time I'm never getting back. And I'm willing to do less transactions and still make a ton of money, right? It's more money than we need, right? It's money that we can put aside. It's money we can pay off debts. It's money that we can put into the next house and still be very happy. And that's what it's all about. You don't have to be the agent who does 30 transactions. I've done that. I've done the 30 plus transactions in a year and it killed me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like you need to figure out what makes you happy. And if you're not happy, figure out how many transactions you need to do and what average price point you need to do to be happy. And I found that versus cold calling and door knocking, what made me happy was working with people that I love and trust me. And if I'm working with people that love and trust me and I keep pouring into them and they keep pouring into me, that fills my bucket. And so when Randy Watkins calls me up and says, hey, my brother-in-law, Casey Mason, and my sister-in-law are looking to buy their first home, I know that I'm the only person they're considering and I'm the only person they're going to work with. And then guess what? I go do a good job for them. They're going to send me every single person that they've ever known to work with me as well. It's easier on my heart. And it doesn't mean that real estate isn't challenging. This business has lots of challenges, right? There's a reason why realtors rank up there with like police officers and attorneys with our alcohol consumption levels, right? Like and airline pilots too, right? High stress jobs. But the trade-off is that we provide that valuable service. Sorry, I realize I went on a little bit of a diatribe and a lecture there, but it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So I realized I stopped asking. How many transactions do you want to do this year?
I want to do 10 transactions this year.
10 transactions. Now, you should also say you're a commercial agent.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And usually a little bit of a different price point.
Yeah.
So 10 transactions for a commercial agent is actually fair. I would say definitely higher than the average.
Well, I think this year, I mean, I still have a couple of friends that are, like, oh, I want to buy a house, come help me. So
Okay.
this year, as I'm transitioning, I'll probably have a couple of residential ones in there too.
Okay.
But yeah, after this year, and I do change all my marketing over to commercial, it'll be all commercial after that.
Awesome. 10 transactions. Now, in your mind, what does 10 transactions equate to income? Because that's important too, not just the number of transactions, but you need to get your transactions, you need to know what you actually want to make. If you're like, I want to make $50,000, it's like, well, you're not gonna have to do that many transactions to make $50,000. But if you're used to being paid like a teacher for years, $50,000 may sound like the most money you've ever heard of. My dad has been a social worker for over 30 years. And like within the first year of business, I made more money than he had ever made in a year, right? So it wasn't a very high mark to beat. And I was like, oh, well, I beat that. Well, I guess I need to set a higher goal. What does that mean for you income-wise?
Income-wise, I'm thinking it'll be around 120, but again, this is kind of a transition year, so we'll see how well.
Cool. And I know you're brand new, so don't
Brand
worry about
new.
it. We'll work through your growth goals. I'm sure you're working with Jessica on that.
Yeah, I start my first group training on Monday.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I still have goals though. My goals for this year is 12 transactions. I don't even care what they are. I don't care if they're getting a renter into an apartment. 12 is my goal, just 12
Gotcha.
transactions.
Man, those rentals. Woo! Nothing like a $100 check coming in.
Yeah.
Mark, I know you've got goals, brother.
My goals aren't really income based though. My goals are more networking, future development, planning, and just getting out and campaigning.
Okay.
Those are more my goals. I know doing that, real estate and income will come on its way. So mine are more based about getting out there and meeting people.
So how many people do you want to meet this year? If you don't know.
Probably north of 200.
Okay, that's rapid growth for a database. And are these all people that you intend for
These
them
are
to
gonna be
be?
all through networking, social events, chambers of commerce, having happy hours,
Cool.
getting to know people's family from past transactions, things like that.
Sure. And what kind of dialogues are you using to convert these people into clients, future clients?
Mostly it's just good character.
Okay. What
I do is I meet up with them, talk to them, and I establish a two-way street.
Right.
So I'll say, get a rapport and say, hey, do you mind if we keep in contact? And if they say yes, then I know I've got their attention, they have my attention, and then I can do like what we're talking about today, set them up on just a social campaign.
Yeah, sure.
Just to talk to them at least once a month to say, hey, how you doing? And even if that's in an email or a text message or a phone call, just to keep in touch.
Sounds like a smart plan that you should utilize out of Command to touch on, because I need to remember that Command is the platform that we use. There's a great thing called a monthly marketing email that updates people on what's going on in their neighborhood. That's a very powerful thing. You put their name and their email in it, and every month it automatically sends an email with market data to them.
Now, can they automatically opt out of that?
Absolutely.
On their end, so I don't have to worry about it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and here's the deal too. The reason why I want you to know how to do emails, but you also need to understand that people are reading emails less and less and less, which is why the best thing we can do as agents is exactly what Mark is doing. Get them in person, face to face. Put a name and a face to the number that they see on a page, right? It's the personal element, because there are buyers out there who like the one-click, one-stop shopping of Zillow and Quicken Mortgage and all that crap, but they are not the majority of the market, and there is no loyalty with those types of clients. So the people that we pour into need to be the people who are willing to have a relationship, right? And there's plenty of people who can be awkward in person, but still have a relationship. What are some of the ways that y'all, and I know we're very close to the end of time and I want to be respectful of y'all's time, but what are some non-traditional ways that we could be contacting our clients versus just calling them on the phone?
Like Mark was saying about just keeping up, socially, whether it's just to call them and say,
So-
hey, send them an email, meet them for a happy hour.
So socially, so you're thinking maybe hitting them on Facebook or Instagram or sending them a message, text messages?
Yeah,
I think any way you can get face to face with somebody is 100 times better than an email.
Agreed.
yeah, even if you can schedule a one-on-one on Zoom.
That's a big one too, but I would not discourage y'all from sending valuable text messages to your clients, because you can have a client who would text you for 3 hours, man.
Yeah.
And for some people, that's a very good way to talk to them. That's their preferred method of communication.
Yeah.
I only say it because we need to meet people where they're comfortable. And I have some clients who are terrible on the phone. They're the worst on the phone, but they'll still send me referrals like crazy. If I called them, they clam up. Robert, why are you calling me? But they'll text me all day or send me stupid memes on Instagram. And this is still someone who thinks of my business and sends my business, even though 90% of our relationship is sharing stupid memes.
So how do you ask for business if you're texting? I have several people that text that have a-
Same thing.
A lot of times it's organic.
Who do you know who's looking to buy or sell? Or ask somebody how their business is, how their work is, how are things at work? And it's a reciprocal, there's reciprocity in conversation. So if you ask somebody how things are going at work, they will in turn say, how are things in business? How are things in the real estate market? It's a natural course of conversation. It's not as direct as somebody like Joe Nigo, who makes, he has the 60-second lead generation call. So he does that like 40 times in an hour. It's ridiculous. How can you actually have a conversation? Hey, everybody, it's Joe Nigo. Just want to let you know, do you have anybody who's looking to buy or sell right now? Oh, it's good to see you. It's like within 60 seconds time. Are you kidding me? You're not actually getting anything out of that.
You know,
And specifically,
forward method.
what do you ask for somebody that's retired? They don't have a business.
They must
So-
be doing something though. They must have a hobby.
Mark touched on it though, the Ford method, and I'm glad you mentioned that because everybody in this business needs to know what Ford stands for. Mark, you know it, so I want you introduce this conversation.
Oh my God, it just left.
Okay.
my
Ford,
mind.
Ford
But it's
is family,
occupation,
occupation,
recreation, and.
desires and dreams.
Yep, and desires.
And you work down that list.
Mhm.
How are things going with the family? Super easy. People ask me that all the time. Oh man, having 2 under 3 is a challenge, but I feel like we really hit our stride.
What was
Yeah, how big is, what's that?
R&D?
FORD,
What was
Okay.
R&D?
Recreation.
recreation, dreams, and desires. And the last one is real fun. If you can actually get your clients to talk about 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals with you, holy crap, you've got them, man. Because you know what makes them tick. If you know what my 10-year goal is, you can help. You can feel like you're an active participant in helping me reach it.
And it's not even who the person you're talking to, like, it's not even if you're looking for business, not even about them, it's who they know as well. So you got that, it's called the triangle. So you got 1, 2, and then they can give you a warm referral to somebody that they know. And if that person, and if here's you, and you know this person, they know this person, if this person talks very well about you, then this person over here is going to think very well about you.
Yeah. Let me tell you something I love to do. It's like crack cocaine, guys. And I've never done crack cocaine, but from people I know who've had it, it's supposedly similar. There's a high. I love getting people that I know that are either past clients or people on my database together, never mentioning business. Because it just comes up. It just comes up. So I play disc golf with guys who almost exclusively have done business with me, right? And I had a new client who I knew played, but we weren't under contract yet or anything. And I said, hey, come play with my group. I didn't tell him anything about the group, and we just got together. And somebody he brought up, he's like, well, how do you know Robert? And my buddy Michael says, well, we've been friends for about 20 years. We went to the same church when we were boys, and he helped me and my wife buy a house about 3 or 4 years ago. So that was happening. Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What about you? And my buddy Adam is like, yeah, Robert and I have only known each other for a couple of years, but he came to my son's christening, and oh yeah, he helped us buy a house about 2 years ago. I didn't have to mention business. I didn't tell them that it was a business, and then I didn't do anything. But that new client, when I tell him that no BS, I keep in touch with my database, like he sees it right there. Here are people who did business with me, who are happy to continue to be my friend and spend time with me. It just passively comes up. You don't have to talk about it. He was impressed by that. He mentioned it later. He's like, wow, this guy's like really saying your praises. And I said, I guarantee you I didn't pay him to do that. So we are at the end of our time. I know time is so valuable in this business, but I want to make sure Does everyone here feel like you've picked up some things today that you can add to your business and hopefully in the organization of your database, maybe start doing some activities? Now, was this something that was valuable enough that you would like us to have contacts mastery conversations like this more often?
Yes.
You would?
I'm not very tech savvy, so yeah, for sure.
Excellent. I would love for us to have either every month or every other month a sit-down conversation, even less formal than this, because I think it's important for us to share our ideas and the things that we do. Because the people who are in your sphere, it doesn't matter if you recreate an activity that I've done to generate business, you're influencing different people. Right? There's plenty of business for all of us. Joanne,
Yes,
thank you for being here.
thank you.
Do you feel like you got anything today?
Yes, I did. I love the
Good.
tags and I love being able to separate them for mailings.
Of course. Well, and there's so much more that we can do, which is why I would like for this to be a continuing conversation. So,
Can I say something? I'm
Yeah.
a little bit over, it's like, how do I say this? I'm probably the only one that feels it, but a command, when I look at it, all that I can do with it, it's very overwhelming.
you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Doing it, so I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Like,
So, what
I
I
feel
always
like I put my toe in the water.
what I always tell people is that start with the 3 things you have to know to get paid. And those are make a contact, make an opportunity, and then use DocuSign to get contact signed so that you can submit them for compliance. If you can do those things, you can get paid. The next step is what we call the lead generating materials. It is the business generation powers of command. With that, you should be running campaigns on every listing that you have. And you should be running campaigns on listings that other listing agents would allow you to do, because it's going to generate leads for you and your business. You should be incorporating smart plans into your business to effectively work with your sphere of influence so that you're retaining the people that you've already done business with or who said that they'll send you business. And you should be creating landing pages and dedicated websites for yourself and for your marketing materials for your listings. Those are great ways to add on to, right? Those first 3 things I mentioned are the cake. Everything else is the icing, right? It just makes it a little bit sweeter. So, and don't feel like you have to do all of it. If you can just start doing some of it, right? Running a campaign once a month and incorporating a new smart plan every month into your database, you will see dividends. You will see dividends. And Carol, it sounds like you and I need to sit down at some point and go over maybe, or send you some of the materials on how to make your own smart plan, because it's very easy. It's very easy to do.
I would like to do that.
All right, my friends, we are at the end of our time. In fact, we went a little bit over. God bless you. Thank you very much for being here today. And a big thank you for Raina. Can we get a little bit of applause for Raina sharing her time with us?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank
One
you.
for happy to be here.
Well, what, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for putting this together.
Happy to be here. Guys, have a wonderful, productive weekend. You know that if you ever need anything, do not hesitate to email me and ask or hit the Facebook page, okay?
Thank you.
God bless you. We'll see you around the office. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting for everybody here.